Hi, book friends. So I finally finished Slapshot, and it was so good. So let me give you my thoughts. So Slapshot is Hudson and Madeline's story, and Hudson is the defenseman for the DC Stars, and Madeline is his new private chef. Madeline just lost her job in Vegas. She was a chef for a five-star restaurant, and she happens to have Piper's number. She meets Piper in the second book at a Vegas versus DC game. And Piper approaches her because she notices that Madeline is speaking to her daughter via ASL. And so, since Piper speaks ASL, she approaches her, talks to her, and gives her number and lets her know if she's ever in DC, not to hesitate to call her. So, Madeline happens to stumble across Piper's number, and she calls her, lets her know that she is having no luck finding a job in Vegas, and points her in Hudson's direction, who is looking for a private chef. And he finally interviews her because she is the first person that he interviews that is not a super fan or a stalker or is trying to hit on him. So he hires her. He moves her in. She is a single mom to Lucy, who is deaf, and so she speaks through ASL. And we get a lot of information about ASL through the book. And we get to know Hudson on a much deeper level. If you've read the DC Star series, you know that Hudson loves his friends and gives them 110% in everything he does, but also in his relationships. And he is definitely a relationship type of guy when it comes to love and women. He wants to be in a relationship. He's monogamous, doesn't do hookups. He wants serious relationships. But we really get to see his grieving process from losing his mom. And so we get to know him and Madeline, and they really create a friendship. And it's really best friends from the very beginning. There is no intentions for anything more. It's simply just best friends. They fall into a routine, on a day-to-day routine. He notices how hard she works as a single mom, and he falls in love with Lucy because she's just adorable and so smart and so special. And so they just fall into each other's lives so perfectly, and they create this beautiful friendship that turns into so much more than just a friendship. So it is probably the best book so far. I thought Maverick and Emmy were going to be the best book, but I think this is my favorite of the three, just because even though it's a slow burn and the slow burns are so hard to read, it's really worth the slow burn because they really build up to that relationship through their friendship. The communication, as always, is just a chef's kiss. Chelsea Curto really knows how to help write a healthy relationship for all three books, including this one. And yeah, it's just the best. But I think the main event in all of these books, and it really emphasizes it in this one, the way Madeline just falls perfectly into this girlhood, is the friendships between all the girls in these books, the friendship between all the women, and also just how important all these women's roles are in their jobs and in their lives with each other and with their relationships. So that is Slapshot. Those are as many details as I can give you where it doesn't give away too much, but it's still worth the read. DC Star Series is probably, I wouldn't compare, I'm not going to compare anything to the Windy City series. I feel like nothing is comparable to the Windy City series. But if you want a good found family series, if you want a good sports romance series, no third act breakups, by the way, healthy communication, and just a whole new found sports family that you're going to fall in love with, the DC Stars are it. And the girls of the DC Stars are it.